You are listening to Radio Maria Canada. We now present the Health Hub, hosted by Cathy Biase.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 100th episode of the Health Hub. I'm Cathy Biase, your host, and I would like to thank you for not only being with us today, but for joining us on this journey, which began almost 2 years ago here today on Radio Maria Canada. Honestly, I remember the first episode of the Health Hub like it was yesterday. The topic was the 5 pillars of health, and I was my own guest. And the night before the show, I tell you, I didn't sleep a wink. The nerves were going, and I didn't know what to expect. I actually went back recently and listened to that podcast, and God willing, I've gotten a little bit better in the 100 shows because I was green as it came. But at that time, I had asked that you trust in the vision that we had laid out for you in the show. And here we are today, 100 episodes strong. I have grown, our show has grown, and our listenership has grown. And I have honestly enjoyed every step of the process. It has just been such an amazing, amazing journey for me. Our show today is taped, so no opportunity for call-in. Please do follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We are at the Health Hub, RMC, and our email is thh@radiomaria.ca. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, any interest in shows that we can put on for you in the next 100 shows, please do feel free to drop us a line. We do answer quite quickly. And do subscribe to our podcast. We are the Health Hub on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all your favorite podcast platforms. And you can also find all of our podcasts on the Radio Maria Canada website, which is www.radiomaria.ca, and on my website, which is www.cathybiase.com. And if you like what you hear, please do continue to leave such positive things for us. We really appreciate it. Our guests appreciate it. And it helps to cultivate a real sense of listenership. When other people comment and see your comments, it really is great for us. When I was approached by Radio Maria to do a show almost 2 years ago, my knee-jerk reaction was to take a polite decline, as I had absolutely no experience on radio whatsoever. In fact, people go to school many, many years to get on the radio. And the fact of the idea of actually hosting my own show, even a podcast for that matter, had never even crossed my mind. At the time, I was pretty fresh. Well, not fresh, about 2 or 3 years out of my nutrition school, starting my practice. And this little nugget never even dawned on me. But for some reason, I did decide to continue the conversation. I asked people here at Radio Maria what they had in mind and what the parameters were for the show. And their answers were simply something about health and whatever you want. Now, I'm sure many of you would take that as a vote of confidence, but for me, those loose parameters were like a spinning compass when I was looking for solid direction. And again, my every inclination was to take a polite pass and move on to other things. But I put off that answer in favor of giving myself time to reflect and to pray. And I did. And as they say, the rest is history. And here we are today, into our 100th show. And as C.S. Lewis aptly said, you are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. The success of our show, relies on content. And ours, I am proud to say, is outstanding. And for this, I wish to thank each and every guest that we have had on our show. Your generosity of time and your shared wisdom and intelligence has carried our show and has helped me to grow as not only a practitioner, but as a person. But perhaps the greatest credit for making us to our 100th show goes to my guest today, Alex Diaz. Alex is a graduate of Mohawk College for radio broadcasting. His love of broadcasting stems from his love of sports, and although never an athlete in his mind, his childhood dream was to play for the only team he knew, and that was the Toronto Blue Jays. Soon enough, however, he woke up and he realized that that dream wasn't cut out for him and the diamond, and his childhood dream of stealing home runs and diving into the hole on a line drive was only to be experienced virtually with a gaming system. So he does have a sense of humor, our Alex. His passion for broadcasting was sparked from listening to longtime Blue Jays broadcasters Tom Cheek and Jerry Howarth. To date, Alex has almost 15 years of experience in broadcasting and is currently the production manager for Radio Maria Canada and, of course, for our show, The Health Hub. So today, Alex will be joining me on this side of the glass as we talk about his journey, our journey, and the journey of the show that we have created together, The Health Hub. We will be back shortly.
Hey, you in the corner shaking in those boots. You know what to do. You got the shaking vibe, but the feel won't do. We always say that we have unspeakable joy. So let our feet do all the talking when our words fall short. We got reason to get up, reason to get down. Heathens reading our shade with joy, and now let joy run soar. Happy dance. Happy dance. Hey, yeah, you in the back of the room with those concrete shoes. It's okay to cut loose. Oh, it ain't about how you move, but what moves you. We're so consumed with what we think we're supposed to be that we stop living like we know that we are free. We got reason to get up, reason to get down. Heathens reading our shade with joy, and now let joy run soar. Happy dance. Happy dance. Boom, ta boom, boom, tack, boom, ta boom, boom, tack, boom, boom, tack, boom, 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 tack, tack. Let me see those hands if the good Lord save you. Boom, tack, tack, tack. Get up, get down, 'cause the heat unchained you. Let me see those hands if the good Lord save you. Get up, get down, 'cause the heat unchained you. We got reason to get up, reason to get down. Heathens reading our shade with joy, and now let joy run soar. Happy dance.
Hello, Cathy, and I want to congratulate you on your 100th episode. It was great and a lot of pleasure presenting some segment with you, and wish you the best luck, and hopefully we can do more in the future. Thank you, Dr. Hackett.
You are listening to Radio Maria Canada. We now continue with the program, The Health Hub, hosted by Cathy Biase.
Welcome back, everybody. Honestly, we've been preparing for this 100th show for a while, and I didn't think that emotions would get to me, but, you know, that was very lovely of Dr. Hackett, and even just reading about Alex and the history of the show, I got to say, it's quite an emotional thing. This is quite an accomplishment for all of us here, and we can't thank you enough for being such a big part of it. There's a simple Zen saying about taking chances. Leap and the net will appear. And when I leapt, Alex, you were my net. Want to welcome you to the show today.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Cathy.
I can't, you have these big milestones, Alex, and, we were thinking of what are we going to do, this, that, and the other. And then I was actually lying in bed when I said there can't be a better guest on the show than Alex for such an important, great event for us. So I'm really happy.
Well, thank you so much for having me as a guest on this, such a great program, our 100th.
Our 100th. When we met, I'm talking to you, the listeners, and I'm talking to Alex, who's looking at me. We had, we hit it off right from the beginning because we both have this real sense of love of sport. And Alex is more the analytical mind guy with sports, and I'm the emotional one. So when big moments came up in sports over the last 100 episodes, like my DeMar DeRozan being traded.
Yeah, we definitely couldn't have that conversation on the air.
No. But you were a lot more of the, it's good for the Raptors. It's good. And I was, you better walk away. Not today. But we've always had that passion. And I think that's what's helped us to work so well together. But before we get into you and me in the show, let's talk about you and why Jerry Howarth and Tom Cheek, who I grew up with, were an inspiration for you.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for me, first of all, I moved here in 95. So I actually missed out on those, 94 rather, and I missed out on those glory years of the World Series. And I remember when I was at the age of 7 or 8, something like that, I was able to listen to these baseball games, and in a sense, it was a bit of a blessing that I didn't have the television channel at the time, and I was able to get a sort of an appreciation for broadcasting. I remember listening to those baseball games, closing my eyes, and being able to imagine, where the ball is, who's making the plays, how the ball is being transferred from, right field to home plate, for example, with a deep throw, whether the cutoff man was there. Listening to those games gave me an appreciation for the sport. And as I grew up and I continued listening, I grew to appreciate the talent that both Tom Cheek and Jerry Howarth had. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I took from them was just their preparation that went into every single broadcast, whether it's learning about each player's stats or sharing a story about a given player that they shared one-on-one in the clubhouse, for example. And they brought that realism to the broadcasts that I could relate to. And so growing up, I've developed a passion for broadcasting, and I in fact wanted very much so to be the next Blue Jay broadcaster. But also, Cathy, just that reminds me as well, I had the privilege as well of interviewing Chuck Swirsky, the longtime Toronto Raptors broadcaster as well. And I did that for an independent study project that I did during my high school years, my last one there. And the fact that he was so willing to provide in-depth answers to how he prepared for the radio broadcasting, it showed me how important it is to want to be prepared, but also interact with people and interact with fans, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so important for us in any walk of life to be willing to share what we've learned with others so that others can grow.
To take the time to educate people and look to the next generation. So it's amazing when you open yourself up, who you bump into and who can influence you and give you guidance and direction in your life.
It's so true.
And So you went, obviously you didn't go down the Blue Jay announcing side, and you're
No,
not at the Raptors game tonight.
Well, at a certain point, now that I look back, I'm okay with the fact that I'm not a sports broadcaster, just because I need that avenue as a fan.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
and but the thing is, when I got into Mohawk College and I developed my skills, I realized that I'm at home behind the glass instead of behind a microphone or in front of a microphone. I really honed my skills on the production side, and I really believe that it's where I was meant to be within the radio environment. At least that's what I came out with when I graduated at Mohawk College. Yes.
And we're 18 years into your career, and how many years at Radio Maria?
Well, it was 15 in combination from the start, from the point that where I started in terms of my training till now. I started my training in 2005, I believe. Yes. And so by 2009, I was actually granted a position here at Radio Maria, and I've been here ever since. I actually started here in 2008 as a volunteer. And fortunately for me, I was granted this position, and I've been blessed to be involved with Radio Maria. It's not every day that people can go to work and also develop their faith.
That's
right?
Very nice.
And so I try very hard to remember what a privilege it is for me to be able to, for example, go to the chapel and speak to Jesus and Mary. And also being here has given me an opportunity to obviously develop my faith. And again, with that privilege, I feel an obligation to myself and to others to grow spiritually as well. Right?
Well, isn't that a very nice thing to say? And that, that permeates into everything you do. People think that preparing shows and talking at shows, it is work. It's fun. But I go home after I'm done trusting that the outcome will be good, because I trust what Alex does. But there have been nights and there have been days and there have been weekends where I can't get a hold of him because he's putting out fires here, or he's taking care of software or launching a Spanish station. So it's so much behind the scenes work that we don't see that goes into the production of not just our show, the Health Hub, but all shows. And I want you just
actually,
go ahead, Alex.
Just interrupt.
Yep.
Without the support of my family, whether it's my dad, my mom, who's now passed away, or my sister, my family as a whole have really supported what I do here and really allow me to continue to do what I'm doing here. So I owe a great deal of gratitude, and I'm very thankful to them for supporting me throughout these years.
Well, I wish I had known your mom. I've not met your sister yet, and I know your dad, and I love him to pieces, so I can definitely see that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And everyone, I'm sure you can just tell what a lovely person is I get to work with on the show. What is production, Alex? What do you mean when you say you're a production manager?
Okay, so not to get too technical, I suppose, but in a sense, as production manager, I am responsible for the coordination of all the programs in terms of when they air, and to an extent the content of the program, making sure that music that we use for our programs are best reflect the content of the program. We also, as a producer, we also connect with guests and make sure that things air on time, for example. And we also set up different various interviews, whether it's live or pre-recorded. But I can't necessarily do what I do unless, in this case, we've got several volunteers here who are sort of under me, and I'm privileged to be able to be working with so many dedicated volunteers, especially on the technical side. As you said, Cathy, there's a lot that goes on that one man can't necessarily do on his own, of course, or women for that matter, but
nice. Good catch.
Thank you. I just caught myself there. But anyway, so there's a team of us, and but for me, as you were alluding to, there's a lot that I do, and again, for me personally, I leave it up to God to guide me. Mm-hmm. I know that may sound somewhat foreign to some people, but for me, without the grace of Mary and Jesus, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. And I'm sure to an extent you feel the same way. Well,
just when I was talking about the show, I mean, when I was asked to do it, I actually thought that the person who approached me was, I was looking over my shoulder for a candy camera. I had no idea why I would be approached to do a show like this. And I don't know if it was that I wasn't in my 20s, or if it was my own health experience that I went through that just sort of made me realize that, you know what, you got to shoot for the stars when you get the opportunity to. But a lot of my decision was based in reflection and prayer. And
isn't that something, though, when it comes to our opportunities in life? Like you said, you have a history of having cancer, and yet you're still with us today, and you have this privilege, I suppose, of being able to share your knowledge with people, and this is an outlet for you to do that, right?
It is. And when we talked about, when I sat down with Alex, I actually felt for Alex because I had no idea what to do. And he was so patient in guiding me and, asking me the questions, the probative questions that made me have to reflect on, because really it was thrown to me to do a health show. So I did think about, should we do something that is very pointed, like stick to a topic and just drill down on that? But because of what I do in my practice, working with cancer patients, because of my history, that would have seemed like a natural avenue or a flow for me. But I wanted to make a hard right when it came to that, because when you get to a point in your life where you have an illness, and you start to educate yourself, and you start to look back on maybe certain circumstances that got you to that point. I felt after looking at the demographic of the people that listen to Radio Maria and the potential for the people that were possibly going to listen to the podcast when it was put out there, I wanted to bring to people knowledge of how to help themselves prevent chronic illness. And I decided that I wanted to curate guests. And I had no idea at the time of the power of asking the question, would you like to be on our show? And that I, to this day, am amazed at the experts worldwide that are so happy to be on the show. Like that of anything, it's still, when I get, I send out requests for people to be on the show, and when they so generously reply with, yes, I'd love to share what I know, that floors me probably more than anything. And there's not a guest that we have had on the show that hasn't imparted such useful knowledge for any listener to grasp a hold of. Alex is giving me the 2-minute sign. I have 2 minutes left in the segment.
I guess I'm used to being on the other side of the glass, and I'm giving Cathy the hand signal, but I forgot for a moment that I was there on the show today. So
usually that's
Cathy,
my time to start sweating. Yeah, thank you, Alex. I will try and keep my listener on point, or my guest on point, for the rest of the time. So I don't know about you, Alex. I don't know. your job is definitely different. You do so much while the show is going on. I don't know how much time you even get to listen to it, but I don't know what your opinion of that, but to me, that has been outstanding.
That reminds me, you said that I do a lot during the show, but I'm also reminded of the one time that I actually flipped off my chair.
Yes.
Yeah, it was, I think I know I was running late. I'm not sure about you, but I was literally I flipped over my chair and thankfully landed safely. I don't know how that happened, but
I wasn't sure if I was allowed to laugh or what I was just, but it really was. It started the show off great. It really took away from some of the stress that I feel at the beginning of the show.
I think for me, I'm sure I was beating the traffic that day, or
Alex, you get in here at 5 minutes before the mark on a good day. So let's you're getting a little better.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, that's the mark of a producer, apparently. We just kind of...
You fly in.
If we fly in, and in my case especially, I can count on you to be on time and prepared. So I appreciate that very much as well.
Are we at our 2-minute mark?
I believe we are.
All right.
But if you wanted to add something, you may go ahead.
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go into the second half, so we can go to our break.
All right.
Hi, Cathy. This is Dr. Sue Griffin at UAMS in Arkansas, and I just want to tell you how much I've enjoyed being on your show. Let's do it again.
Raindrops rolling off my brim. Street lights got the pavement glistening. Touchdown, I fall into your arms, right where I belong. Your everlasting arms. And where would I be without you? I'll be packing my bag when I need to stay. I'll be chasing every breeze that blows my way. I'll be building my kingdom just to watch it fade away. It's true, that's me without you. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's me without you. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's me without you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't know where I'd be without you. Flashback, stepping through the scene. There's you, and there's a very different me. Touchdown, you had me at believe. You had me at believe you did. And where would I be without you? Without you, I'll be packing my bag when I need to stay. I'll be chasing every breeze that blows my way. I'll be building my kingdom just to watch it fade away. It's true, that's me without you. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's me without you. Ooh, 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 ooh.
You are listening to The Health Hub here on Radio Maria Canada. A Catholic voice wherever you are. To contact us and be a part of the show, email thh@radiomaria.ca. We now continue with the program. Here once again is your host, Cathy Biase.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here with my guest and producer, Alex Diaz. Alex, I just want to continue on with a thought before we went to break about the guests that we've had on the show. And so when you and I were discussing what are we going to call this show, what's the theme,
Right.
I just felt that we wanted to curate minds and we wanted to inspire people to take their health into their own hands by bringing things that they may not see in their normal, regular medical stream of healthcare. So I wanted it to be a hub where we could come and bring all these great minds, as I said, together. And so the hub became the Health Hub.
Yes. Yeah. It's really, really something.
Yeah. And again, it's just, to have a great person like you, Alex, to sit and talk and what are we going to talk about? And let's try this and that. And then we come to the name. And then, we wanted to have a theme around it, right? Like we can't just pull people, although we do often pull people. And again, we were talking about the beginning of the show and I said, trust what we do. We had a guest on the show. All of our guests, I know Alex has loved and appreciated, but you have never seen a kid in a candy store like I saw when we had Herbie Kuhn on the show.
Oh, yes, that's so true.
He was so excited. We had to tape the show with Herbie because his schedule was he is the
PA announcer.
PA, thank you. I was looking for that word.
Problem.
PA announcer for the Toronto Raptors. And he was very early on into the show.
I think it might have been November of... I can't remember, actually.
It was it was well before our first year.
Yeah, well into just our first year.
Yes,
yes.
And that was really exciting for us. And Alex was so excited. There are two guests that stand out to me because of things that happened. One was Herbie and one was Dr. Leslie Korn when we had an accident. I was coming to work and there was an accident and I was 15 minutes late. So the show starts at 10 o'clock and I was 15 minutes late. I think I lost 10 pounds and I got here and you weren't here.
Oh, yeah.
So, and she was just so lovely. We phoned and I think she's in Mexico and I felt so bad and just lovely. You think of these experts and these scientists and these doctors
they're so busy and yet they make the time for us, right?
They do. They make the time and they're just lovely, all these people.
Yeah, speaking about guests, we've actually got some more comments and messages from our previous guests. So I'm going to share some of that now with you, Cathy. This one is from Maeve Richmond. Congratulations, Cathy. 100 episodes is a big deal. You are a health information pioneer, and I loved being on your show. Keep up the amazing work, and here's to the next 100.
Oh, that's so nice. And Dr. Sue Griffin's comment before we went to break. I mean, how lovely is it for these people to take time out of their schedule to congratulate us?
Yeah, it really adds a little bit more fuel to the fire and the passion for us to continue.
It really does. And that's why we always say, if you have something to say, let us know.
It's so true. It really does help us. And here we have another one from Robert Burns.
Oh, yes. Dr. Burns. I love Dr.
You remember
Burns.
him,
I do.
Fondly, I'm sure.
I still keep in contact with Dr. Burns.
So he goes on to say, in my view, Cathy is a shining star. I know that I could not do what she does every week. All those different topics, many of which contain some complicated science. You are working with a very bright and highly motivated lady when Cathy recruits you and then guides you through your podcast topic. She managed me with excellence, leading me to answer questions she posed that were ripe for her audience. I think she is one of a kind.
Oh, my heart. He's just so sweet. I mean, that's just so nice. This is why I love doing what I do.
And we have one more, Cathy. This one is from Michael Okumura, and I do believe I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but that's why I'm the producer and you're behind the microphone every week. So, Michael, I do apologize profusely, but here you go, Cathy. This is what he said. Congratulations on your 100th show. I would like to thank Cathy for the great opportunity to share my views on fitness and health. I look forward to having more opportunities to work with you both. I think the Hub is a great tool for sharing knowledge to people who would otherwise not have access to alternative medicine and health-related topics.
Oh, bang on, Michael. Thank you so much for taking it. How nice is it that everyone's taking the time to do this? I'm so appreciative for all of your kind words. And again, thank you so much. Alex, it's such a nice testament to what we're trying to do here. And Michael's bang on. It's a tool for sharing knowledge for people who may not have access to it otherwise. So we're always trying to go back to do better, to reinvent. We'll look forward to the next 100 shows. But one of the things that I love about our show and about what Alex does is the music. And when I go back and I listen to the podcasts after the show, because sometimes when I'm actually doing the show, Alex, I'm so focused on making sure the conversation's flowing that I actually am not taking in as much as I'd like.
Exactly. I think that's that's a very common thing to go through as a host. You definitely do not have that listener experience when you're just listening and taking in. But in your case, you're hosting, you're guiding the conversation, listening to the guest for sure, yes. But there's so much. You've got me giving you hand signals left and right, so I'm sure that doesn't help.
Well, the best ones are when you talk into the microphone when I've got the guests on, or talk into my earpiece. And
yeah, about 100 shows later, we figured that one out.
Yeah. But, one time, you scared the bejeebers out of me. I was focused on something, and it was 5 minutes, and I jumped. Oh my goodness! It's a good thing this show is taped out. We have been laughing our heads off as we've been going through this, going back and thinking about things that have happened.
We won't tell how many takes. How many takes we just took for the last little bit here. Yeah. That's okay.
It is okay. It's all good. Okay, I'm not supposed to laugh that hard. I really try not to laugh that hard at these things. I don't want to. It's not about us and our laughing, but it's been a lot of fun. This is what it's like every week, pretty much. Sometimes not as fun, but for the most part, pretty good. I want to thank you for the music that you give to the show. I think it's important for an hour-long show that we have those breaks. It's good to divide up into segments. It's good for listeners to have a bit of a break, and it's good for our guests to have a bit of a break. But the music that is incorporated into the show during the segments is phenomenal, and thank you for that. I know it takes time.
Well, we take a lot of pride here, and I take a lot of pride trying to find appropriate music for all our programming. I think it's one of the things that is very important because it helps bring the program together, right? And so, at least for me, that's where I like to demonstrate and shine, per se. That's where I get my kicks, is piecing the programs together and making it all one, rather than 3 different segments, for example, right?
Yeah.
In a sense.
And the music is not just like fun boppy music. It's quite appropriate to, and that's what I mean by taking time. You know the conversations that we're having, you know the guests, and you try and find the music. And that's a talent. It really is a talent, and I find it invigorating between segments when I'm listening to the show. And I like to listen to all the shows. I like to go back and see where I can improve, where I can maybe pull things out. So I find that's important for me to go back and listen to the shows. And that's where I really get a true sense of your genius there.
Sorry, I was going to say, for me, if I'm able to listen to a program on the archives that I did maybe 6 months ago or a year back. And for me, if I still get that same sense of, yeah, that was the right song, then I know I've done my job correctly that week. That week at least.
Yeah, and there are some shows that are really, like, some of the music is just so spot on. It's some topics we have, it's hard to find appropriate music, I understand, but some have just been spot on. When we started the show and we were in production of the show before our first show, one of the things Alex challenged me with was the music to the intro for the show. And
we really wanted to, make this program appealing to everybody, right?
Yes, all age groups.
And so music had to be something that was engaging and uplifting. 100%.
And we wanted the show to be, the content to be more of a cutting edge, more of a content that people would, bringing to attention things that you might not know of in the scope of your health regime. And so we landed on a song that has meaning for a song, an introduction that you hear at the beginning of every show. And it is from One in the Chambers song called Crooked Step. They took out the lyrics. They gave us the, what do you call that? The musical.
The instrumental version.
Thank you. The instrumental version. And very proud because One in the Chambers lead singer is my son. And although we took his voice out, we still have his music.
Yes, that is such an important element for you, I'm sure, to have a bit of family with you every week.
Every Tuesday.
And speaking about family, I have some surprise additional comments from your family here. So this one is from Shane. Mom, you inspire me every day. This is only the beginning, and I can't wait to see where the show goes from here. It's already come so far, and I'm so lucky and proud to have you as my mom.
Oh, that's my goodness, that's my son. Well, that's making me weepy.
This one here is from Shannon. Congrats to my beautiful, amazing mother on your 100th show. You are my inspiration and my rock. Your hard work and dedication is truly amazing and shines through in every show. I love you so much. And this one is from Michael and Miranda. Congratulations on your 100th show, Mom. We are so proud of you.
Well, sir, a little bit weepy.
Well, there is still more to come here if you can...
hold it together?
I think,
go ahead. I got a Kleenex right here.
No problem. No problem. In fact, this one is a bit of an audio for you here. So I'm gonna play it, and I'll let you hear what the message is.
Hey, Mom. Congratulations on your 100th show. I'm so proud of you and everything you've accomplished these past few years. You inspire me and everyone around you every single day. I hope one day to be at least half the woman you are today. I love you so much, Mom.
So those are my 4 children. And Alex, you're going to have to talk a little bit because I got to regroup here. They are my light, my loves, and they mean the world to me.
So there is a couple more.
Oh.
So I thought maybe I'd put the children together.
Okay.
And we have a couple more. I'll go with Kelly's first, your sister. I know she does quite a bit for us here at the Health Hub too. Congratulations on this wonderful milestone. Before your first show, you were concerned about how you would fill the air for an hour. Now you say that the show is moving too quickly and you wish for more time.
It's true.
You've come so far. You've come a long way. Your passion for wellness and your genuine excitement about your guests and your commitment to providing your listeners with modern integrative approaches to health shine in every show. So proud of you and happy for you. Here's to another 100.
Thank you, Kelly.
And last but not least, Dom, your husband. Cathy, I want to congratulate you on your 100th show. I either listen live or to your podcast and find them very informative to the everyday person. I can personally relate to many of your topics. I am truly impressed on how far you have taken the show and am incredibly proud of you. Good luck for the next 100. I love you.
Without my family, just as you mentioned, without your family, I wouldn't have been able to survive many things, and their support is the world to me. And I think I need a second here to regroup, Alex. So I'm going to throw back to you.
Yeah, usually at this time, we usually have a tip of the day from our guests. So for me, I suppose my tip of the day would be that we should strive very much so to remain happy within ourselves. And I think one of the ways we can do that is to be appreciative of every single moment in our life. Whether we are at work or with family or simply by ourselves, we should be living in the moment. And I think being happy is essential to good health.
Alex, it's a beautiful sentiment to end up the show with, and I thank you for giving me that time to regroup, because the words from my family touch my heart. And thank you, Alex, for being on the show. There could not have been a more appropriate guest for me to have on the show, our 100th show. And once again, I'd like to thank all of the guests who have been on our show to date. And thank you for your time, your patience, your expertise. Thank you especially to those guests who have taken the time to send in kind words. It is greatly appreciated. I'd like to thank Radio Maria for giving me this opportunity. And I'd like to thank some other people that you probably are not aware of, but mean the world to us on the show here. People behind the scenes. Jeff Diaz, Alex's father. Daniel Tersini, who's joined us in the last few months. Kelly Northey, my sister, who helps out with the guest booking. Karen Buter and Stefan Pietrobono, who help with the social media. And thank you to you, our listeners, because without you, there would be no show. And you motivate us and you help us to try and do better. And we will do better in the next 100 episodes. We will continue to grow. And especially thank you to my family. As I mentioned, you mean the world to me, and I don't want to end off on a teary note. So cheers, Alex, to our 100th episode. And everybody, we will talk to you next week on The Health Hub.
You have been listening to The Health Hub, hosted by